And what's Fonzie like? Come on, Yolanda, what's Fonzie like?
Cool.
What?
Cool.
Correctamundo.
Be cool, honey bunny. Be cool. I can't tell you how many times it's saved my job and even my career in general to just not take things personal and to separate myself from my work. It's become so commonplace to have a back and forth with clients that you should be expecting to have reshoots and you should be expecting to have at least re-edits. Part of working with clients is having two people come together to create something that they are both proud of. It really isn't just about you and you being stoked on the images. You have to make your client happy. And sometimes that means doing things that you wouldn't necessarily do. That also means that sometimes you'll be super excited on something and then they won't be, and you'll be forced to have to reshoot an entire concept. And that probably falls under a different line of communication where maybe you should be planning out things a little bit better, but also you're just never going to please everyone. You're never going to be instantly able to read people's minds. So there's always going to be things that fall through the cracks. But what's really important is to just not take it personal when people are like, oh, I don't like this or I don't like that. Oftentimes they don't even know what they're explaining. They'll be saying things like, oh, I don't like the vibrance, or I don't like the brightness, or they'll use terms that they see on their iPhone and that's what they think they know what they're saying, but oftentimes it's the emotion and it's the feeling of the shot that just isn't quite right. So that's our job, to kind of like decipher what they're saying and just try to not take it personal and just be like, all right, how can I make you happier with the image? Let's try to find a little middle ground, In a similar vein, you kind of want to avoid taking in too many compliments or negative opinions about your work as well, especially from your peers and other people around you. Your friends and family, everyone should be pumping you up at the very least. If you have good friends and family, everyone should be at least on your side, just promoting you to keep shooting, and that's what they should be doing. But at the same time, you have to just understand what you like, what you want to see in the world, and be confident in your work. If someone thinks that your work is poor, then don't listen to them. If someone thinks that your work is incredible, also don't listen to them, because you have ways to go and you can always evolve and you can always keep growing. One of the pieces of advice that still holds to this day is finding yourself a mentor, finding yourself someone that's maybe just a couple years ahead of you in their career and can look at your work critically and can kind of offer you guidance that, your peers, your friends and families just can't really offer you. Sometimes when your client tells you something, it might really get into your head and be like, man, am I really that bad? Or oftentimes you just need someone else to look at your work and just be like, oh no, it's actually you're fine. This person's maybe just having a day. It's good. It gives you a little bit of peace of mind. And sometimes if they tell you things that, hey, you need to really work on these things, well, at the same time, that's also a good thing, because you can just analytically look at your work and be like, all right, well, now if I can observe all of these mistakes that I make now, well, at least I won't make them in the future. If you are interested, I do offer one-on-one calls. I'll put a link down in the description. But by keeping your cool, you're more than likely to rebook that client again in the future than if you just go, oh, no, that's how it's supposed to be. This is great. I believe my work is great. I'm not giving you more stuff unless you pay me $500 more. If at the end of the day, our biggest complaint is having to do reshoots, it's a pretty sweet life. You know what I mean? Sure, some clients are going to be easier than others, but I think what's most important is to look at all of your clients together and have this good relationship with them so that they can speak to other people and they can speak highly of you in general. It's so much harder to book new clients than it is to book returning clients. So if you can just work on that relationship with your clients, even if they're unhappy one shoot or the next, if you don't give them a headache when they tell you that they're unhappy with something, they're probably going to book with you again the next time. They're not going to be like, oh, he was such a nightmare to work with because I wanted one thing different and he caused the fit. So just don't be that guy, you know what I mean? Just be confident in what you like, but also be willing to be flexible and to let others' input dictate your work, you gotta, I know as photographers we are our work, but you do have to separate yourself if you're trying to make money. It'll be better for you in the long run, I promise. Anyway, thanks for sticking around this week. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Later.